Hi, everybody in Algebra 1. This is the review that I always actually had assigned on the Wednesday, March 13th. I want to run through the problems. We will have the test tomorrow. You can use your book on the test, but this is on page 62. All right, so problem number 1, we have 15x to the third minus 4x to the third plus 7x to the third. All right, so we're going to go ahead and actually let's go ahead and do the math to it, but we don't have to worry about naming them, okay? So we're just going to combine like terms. They're all x to the third, so 15 minus 4 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18, so I had 18x to the third. Don't worry about naming it. It's a trinomial cubic, or it's a cubic monomial. But let's just make sure we can do the math to them, okay? Okay, so multiply, double distribute, so that's going to give me 6x squared plus 14x. Double distribute down here, so I'm going to get negative 15x minus 35. And then we'll combine like terms, so I get 6x squared minus x minus 35. And again, let's not worry about naming them. You won't be asked to do that on the test. And I have 3x squared times quantity, x squared, oops, there's nothing there, plus 6. So we're just going to distribute over the parentheses. So I get 3x to the fourth minus 12x to the third plus 18x squared. Number 4, we get x to the third minus 3x squared plus 2x plus 4x to the third plus 5x minus 8. So we can just go ahead and drop the parentheses. Let's combine like terms. So that's 5x to the third. That's going to give me minus 3x squared. That's going to give me plus 7x and then minus 8. Number 5, drop the first set of parentheses, no problem. The second set of parentheses, make sure you change all the signs. So it becomes a minus x squared, a minus x, and a plus 6. Those cancel each other out. Those combine together. And that gives me minus 5. Number 6, you get x squared, x minus 3, minus 4, and x minus 3. Distribute over the parentheses here, so I get x to the third minus 3x to the second. Distribute here, that negative, minus 4x plus 12, and that's all done. And then number 7, that's one of our special cases. I don't know if you remember those or not, but because I have the same thing but one sign different, just multiply the first and the last. If you multiply it all together, you'd realize the middle stuff would cancel out. Number 8, we want to factor. So I get 4x to the third minus 12x squared plus 8x. All right, I can take an x out of everything. I can take a 4 out of everything. That's going to leave me x squared minus 3x plus 12 or plus 2. So let's bring that 4x down. That's a GCF. And we're going to go ahead and factor that. So I'll multiply those together. So I get a positive 2. Behind I have a negative right there. Both signs are negative. So 1 and 2. So plus 1x. Oops. Minus 1x and minus 2x. So x squared minus 1x minus 2x plus 2. There's not an x at the end of it. And then I can factor an x out. I can factor a negative 2 out. Change the sign. And the whole thing right there is my answer. So don't forget the GCF of 4x up front. Number 9. We have 6x to the 8 plus 8x to the 5th. So I can factor a 2 out of both of those, and I can factor a maximum of x to the 5th out. So if I factor a 2 out of 6, I'm left with 3 because 2 times 3 is 6. If I factor an x to the 5th out of x to the 8th, I'm left with x to the 3rd. I can factor a 2 out of 8, and I'm left with 4. And I factored all the x's out, so that's all there. Number 10, I have 60x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, plus 18x to the 4th, y to the 3rd. So it looks like I can factor a 6 out of both of those. I can factor an x to the 4th out of both of those. I can factor a y to the 3rd out of both of those. And that's going to leave me a 10x plus 3, and that's it. If you have any questions on these, make sure you ask me. I'm happy to help you, okay? X squared plus 4x minus 12. Let's factor it and multiply those together, so I get a negative 12. One's positive, one's negative. And so I'm going to have a positive 6x and a minus 2x that are going to work. They plug in there. Remember, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, but the 2 and 6 are the only ones that are going to work. So I get x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 12. Factor an x out. Factor a negative 2 out. Change the signs. So I'm going to get x plus 6 and x minus 2. Number 12, I have x squared minus 10x plus 25. So let's multiply those together. So I'm going to get positive 25. Because I have a negative right there, both signs are negative. Negative 5 and negative 5 will give you a negative 10 when added together. So plug that in right there. So I get x squared minus 5x plus 25. Factor an x out, so I get x minus 5 here. Factor a negative 5 out of both of those, and that's going to give me x minus 5. So I'm going to get x minus 5 and x minus 5. This originally is called a perfect square trinomial because I have the same two exact binomials I multiplied together to get it. Number 13, I get x squared minus 7x minus 44. Let's multiply the first and the last together, so I get negative 44. In order to get a negative number, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Let's see, 1 and 44, that's not going to work. 2 and 22, 4 and 11. 4 and 11 are totally going to work, so it's going to be a negative 11x and a positive 4x that I'm going to plug in there. So I get x squared plus 4x minus 11x minus 44. That's going to give me an x and an x plus 4. Factor that negative out, and 11 comes out. Change the signs. And there it is. Number 14, I get 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. Let's multiply those together, so I get a positive 12. The factors that add up to give me a 7 are going to be 3 times 4, or 3 plus 4. So it's plus 3x and a plus 4x. So I get 2x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 6. That's going to give me x and 2x plus 3. The plus comes down. Bring a 2 out. So that gives me 2x plus 3 and x plus 2. And there's our answer. Number 12, I get x squared minus 10x plus 25. Multiply those together, so I'm going to get a positive 25. Oops, did I already do that one? I sure did. I'm at number 15. Sorry about that. Number 15, 4x squared plus 5x minus 6. Let's multiply those together. I get negative 24. In order to get to there, I have to have one positive, one negative. The factors of 24 that add up to 5 are going to be plus 8x and minus 3x. Plug those in. So I get 4x squared plus 8x minus 3x minus 6. Factor a 4x out of both of those. Bring that negative down. Factor a 3 out. Change the signs because I factored a negative out. So x plus 2 and 4x plus, or that's going to be a minus 3. Number 16, I have 6x squared minus 11x plus 4. Let's multiply those together. That's going to give me positive 24. Both signs are negative because I have a negative there. So that's going to give me a 3 and an 8. So I'm going to get 6x squared minus 3x minus 8x plus 4. Let's factor a 3x out of both of those. And let's factor a -4 out of both of those. Make sure you change the signs. All right, so that's the front side done. And let's get to the back side. Number 17, I have x squared minus 64. Okay, we can do this the same way, but realize perfect square, subtraction sign. So this is going to be x plus 8 and x minus 8. You could do it the traditional way and you get the same answer. Number 18, I have 4x squared minus 16. Let's factor a 4 out of both of them first. And then I'm going to get 4x plus 2 and x minus 2. So that's the difference of two squares. Number 19, I get 25x squared minus 36y squared. These are both perfect squares, so that's going to give me 5x plus 6y and 5x minus 6y. Number 20, 16x squared minus 40x plus 25. This is a tougher one because you could multiply those together. It's going to be pretty tough to do. Let's skip that one. Let's also skip 21, and we can skip 22. We can skip all those, okay? And then 23, we have x squared, x plus 1, minus 9, x plus 1. We have the x plus 1s that we can factor out. That leaves me x squared minus 9. If you leave it like that, you're going to miss 1 point. I can factor that out. That's two perfect squares separated by a negative sign. So just plus and minus. So the whole thing here is our answer. And then problem number 24. We have x to the third minus 2x squared minus 6x plus 12. Let's factor an x squared out of both. That's going to give me x minus 2. I can factor a -6 out of both of those, and that's going to give me an x minus 2. So I'm going to have an answer of x minus 2 and x squared minus 6. Okay, so we do indeed have a test tomorrow. Let's take a look at page 64 and 65, and let's figure out which problems to give you. I think we can do 2, 3. Let's do 6 through 17, then 18, 19, 22 through 24. And I will make a video later today dealing with those problems, so if you want to double check that. So remember, a test is tomorrow. You can use your book on it. And that's all I have. It's nice to see you back here at school. Have a nice day.